Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's pause from the popularity politics that we have been looking at for a moment. And let's give credit where it's due. A man who has dedicated his life to fighting for what is just for the people of the Republic of Kenya. You cannot fight for economic revolution without fighting the regimes that are currently there and those that have been there in the past that have plugged us into the current situation that we are in. On 28th of April, okiyah Omtatah appeared before the Milimani Law Court, where he had petitioned, or his petition was being listened to, a petition by okiyah Omtatah challenging the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto, the Attorney General, the former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and other parties in questioning them over the illegal debt that has been acquired by the Republic of Kenya for the last 15 years. Mtazamaji, when you hear illegal debt, you actually think that okiyah Omtatah is making things up. But I have looked at the petition and the papers and everything. Wadau tunapaswa kukua, if we can give attention to this story and this case by okiyah Omtatah, then we actually mean what we have all been advocating for, that we want the second liberation to be the economic liberation. Because from okiyah Omtatah's petition, 6.9 trillion was borrowed unconstitutionally. Another 4 trillion was borrowed unconstitutionally. Now that equals to about what? 10.9 trillion Kenyan shillings. The Uhuru Kenyatta regime inadaiwa 6.7 trillion. The William Ruto regime, 4 trillion. As of right now, all money borrowed outside the budget, which actually, when the petition was supposed to be listened on 28th of April, which ilikuwa juzi on Monday, the parties that were actually mentioned in the said petition, wakasema, eti we are not prepared. You should give us more days to prepare to respond to this petition. Mind you, the CJ alikuwa ameform a bench of 3 judges about 2 months ago. So mtatuambia aje mmekuwa na hii miezi yote ya kujipanga since this petition actually ilikuwa filed back in the year 2025. So they had all the time on earth to be prepared to answer to the questions that okiyah Omtatah is asking. Kwa sababu, according to okiyah Omtatah, sisi kama wa Kenya, hii deni ambayo tunaambiwa currently it's playing at about 12.7 trillion to 13 trillion. Hatupaswi kuwa hata tunahusika na kuilipa, kwa sababu hii pesa iliombwa outside the constitution. Hii pesa, most of it, ilikuwa deposited to offshore accounts. When you look at the issue of the Eurobond, 7.1 billion US dollars borrowed on behalf of the people of the Republic of Kenya. Hii pesa, it was paid by these international lenders, both the World Bank and the IMF, to offshore accounts. Yet hii pesa inapaswa kulipwa to the consolidated bank. To the consolidated fund. Alafu tuko hapa tunatulia tu. Hawa watu, all of them, Uhuru, Ruto, the Attorney General currently, wakati petition imefika kusikizwa juzi, ndio she is filing a petition, or she is submitting a submission before an affidavit before the Highcourt, seeking this petition to be striked out even before it is listened. Kwa sababu wanajua the National Assembly is supporting the Attorney General that hii petition itupiliwe mbali, wakisema they have directed their own audit through the office of the Auditor General. Sisi hata hatutaki kudeal na nyinyi, kwanza wacha tu deal na hii regime ilipita, ituambie 6.9 trillion iliomba ikapeleka wapi? Kwa sababu pesa mwezi omba on behalf of us kama ya Kenya, alafu hii pesa inalipwa to offshore bank accounts instead of being channeled to the consolidated fund as the constitution stipulates. Wadau, in your time, if there is a hero that is fighting for the just cause, it's okiyah Omtatah, and it's high time tuamke. Let us not be swayed by popularity politics, because hizo ndizo zinatupotosha. Let's look, tunasema tunataka economic revolution. This case should be the first case to determine our economic revolution. IMF, William Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta, the Attorney General, and the previous Auditor General and Control of Budget wanapaswa kujibu hii mashtaka. Kwa sababu watatuambiaje wako prepared kujibu hii kesi, eti kesi imepelekwa 25th of June, yet they borrowed on behalf of the public. It is the public debt. So, if you are genuine, your records should be public and your defense should be public. Hata mpasu kufikiria mara mbili. Mnapaswa tu kuenda mseme our records ziko on public domain. Mnapaswa kwenda muangalia how this debt was approved, how it was used and what have you. Lakini kwa sababu waliomba kwa ajili yetu kupitia majina yetu kama wa Kenya na hawakutumia hii pesa kutunufaisha, lakini wanataka tulipe, ndio sababu wanasema they are unprepared to answer the questions. Na nasema kama tunataka kuokoa hii nchi, let's stop popularity politics. To deal na hizi kesi, hii kesi ya Omtatah, as we dealt with the finance bill, as we dealt with the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, as we dealt with the ouster of Sifuna as the Secretary General of ODM, that is the attention also we should be giving to this case, because this case matters. Kwa sababu if we are to prove that this debt, about 10.9 trillion, was borrowed illegally, it should be struck out of our public debt records. Tunapaswa kuwa na debt about 1 trillion ndio tunapaswa kuwa tunalipa sisi kama wa Kenya. Hii 10 trillion, waja Uhuru na William Ruto washikane watafute mbinu za kulipa, kwa sababu wao ndio walihusika kuiomba na hawakuitumia kutunufaisha sisi kama wa Kenya. It's high time we wake up. Tuamuke wadau. Tuamuke.